Hey there, friends. I've been thinking. We all have our strengths, right? I can do this, but I'm not so great at that. I'm pretty good at talking to people, but I'm not so great at adding things into a website or app. Oops. I love speaking, sharing stories, social media, all those hashtags and algorithms. Yeah, that's a jungle I haven't quite figured out yet. Coming up with ideas that bring folks together, I'm all about it. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I don't exactly get along. But that's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, magic happens. See, Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us great on our own. But imagine how much stronger we are when we bring all those talents together. That's what Community Pay It Forward is all about. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working together to make a difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's find out together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
When you join the Community Pay It Forward family, your business can be seen because people know your business will offer hope to organizations like Todd Lingle of CARES Foundation. CARES Foundation is a proud mission partner of Community Pay It Forward. CARES Foundation is dedicated to educating young drivers of the dangers of impaired and distracted driving. Every sale through Community Pay It Forward helps support incredible organizations like the CARES Foundation.
We have a beginning. 2 full boxes. Getting ready to go to Northern Colorado hospitals. Congratulations to everyone who's been helping us with this and everyone who's going to continue. We are starting this off in a really good way. Please make sure you continue to drop off books, collect books, or donate via our QR code or the link below. Hey, we are starting a brand new segment, brand new show, actually, with Maria Dolores of the Human Contract and the Human Constitution, which is coming out. When is that coming out, Maria?
The Human Constitution, the book, you mean?
Yes.
It's fairly soon, or if it's not out already when you're watching this. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you can find it on Amazon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. We'll have to go and pick that up. So, and maybe what we can do is we can get people to participate in the show, and we can give away a copy. So
Yes.
we'll work on doing that. But we do have the founder of the Human Contract and the Human Constitution, Maria Dolores, with us. We're going to be talking about, just treating each other with the respect, with the dignity that we all want to be treated. To break it down, we're going to go back to when we were 10 years old and mom and dad tells us, treat people like you want to be treated. Well, we're going to explain why this has become so important. And one of the things, Maria, that you do is you are very present all over the world in people's burials. And can you explain what you do and what is the purpose of your participation in that?
Yeah, thank you, Zach. And I just love these conversations with you, and I want to start there because I so appreciate you. And yes, so my background is actually human resources and leadership. And then in 2018, my friend asked me if I wanted to help her in her funeral business. And I started out, and Zach, I have to tell you that the first time I was a funeral representative, I was sitting there in the ceremony and I was listening, and all the songs and the ceremony itself, which is Christian, is reminding me about my grandmother. And she was born 1913. And so she was very much, everything around her life was about dignity and life. Hi, babe. Oh, that's a cute dog. So, so when I started to help my friend, it was, part of it is like coming home, but what I also experienced was to see all these different types of ceremonies. I've attended over 1,500 funerals. So I've seen, yeah, that's a lot over the years. Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, and also secular ceremonies. And the core theme is always about dignity. It's about respecting and honoring the life that was, but also, to remember together, and it's about the faith that I'm present with, but also people coming together. There is always the moment of when people entering, and they are, in their emotions, and it doesn't matter what type of ceremony. People come in, either if they're frozen or in grief or anger, and then when they come out, it's a relief and a gratitude, which I think is so important in times like this, with a gratitude of life and a gratitude of what was, and the memories, and seeing, all ages, the youngest being 1 day old and the oldest 107 years old. So, there's so many different reasons why we are leaving this transportation vehicle, which is the transportation vehicle of life that we have in this body. And this body is actually just experience a very, very small fraction of the richness of life. We see a very small fragment of light, and we hear a small fragment of sound, and there is so much more that we don't know, and that we cannot possibly know in this constitution, in this physical body, this vehicle that we are in. And I think it's amazing, and with gratitude for that.
I know when it comes to Christian, in which unfortunately I've only ever been to Christian or Catholic funerals, and ironically, Catholic funerals have been for my neighbor next door. They've been the neighbor for my grandparents when they owned this house. And they've been a very important family to me personally as I grew up knowing the Sandovals. They were very, very important to me. But I know that it does go almost identically to the way that you were talking. People come in, they have the tears, they have the, they have the sorrow, they have the loss, they have everything. But once people get in there and they get through that, not get through, that's wrong, but once they're able to process a little bit that loss, and we start to celebrate the life, that's when the light starts coming back into people. And that's And then when you walk out, everybody is remembering those good times and remembering, you know, the good memories until that point when they go to, you know, close the casket on them the last time, if it's a
Open.
casket.
Sometimes it's an open
Right,
casket.
right.
Yeah.
So, and then that part becomes, you know, that's it. You know, that's the last time I'm ever going to see him. That's it. And that's a hard moment. But um what I know that there are different I know that there are different I guess activities during these funerals,
Mhm.
during for different cultures.
Yeah.
Without trying to put any of them down, which is the one that is more focused on the person themselves, and which is the one that's more focused on the people who are in the audience? Because I think a lot of time we focus on the people in the audience, the people who have lost, rather
Mhm.
than the person who is lost.
Uh, I would say a part of what is the common theme in all the different ceremonies is coming together, remembrance, and it's about, you know, the message that the religion is carrying, but it's and to have your closure. So it's really a common theme. But I mean, with Buddhism, it's a lot of a chanting and to encourage the soul to move onwards. And yeah, it is different with different themes, and with some religions like Hinduism, it's always cremation, which is not, which can almost seem offensive for some sections in religions. So, but what I really think is important is, and that's the human constitution. That is not a religion. It's about life here and now, and it's not about previous or coming lives. And the human constitution is, it's about to encourage us all to feel that you have the right to all your emotions. You know, I remember this young boy who came in, and his friend, who was 16 years old, he was in the casket, and he died of a cancer. This boy, 16 years old, and this friend, he comes in and he has hate in his eyes. You know, life is unfair. I hate life. I hate this religious leader, you know, the God, and life is unfair. And at the end of the ceremony, still, you know, there is a closure, and there's uh, and people just coming together is so important. And sometimes I see my role as, you know, I'm the person who's greeting everyone who's coming and saying hello and welcome, and my name is Maria, and I'm representing the funeral agency, and let me know, like a hostess. And so I see my role as both supporting the person who's holding the ceremony, whoever that is, and also to see and greet and make everyone feel seen and heard and acknowledged, and that all emotions are equally respected, and that we do have the right to our emotion, and we also have a responsibility, and the responsibility is trying to mature and to feel whatever we are feeling, and then trying to let go of the emotion. We do not need to let go of the memory. It's
No.
rather to, to remember with grace and with care, and to let go of to forgive yourself and to forgive the person, because sometimes we do things or we don't do things that we feel is that we don't want to forget or forgive. And to forgive is not to it's not for the others' sake, it's for your own sake to let go.
Yeah, you don't want to walk around the rest of your life with that guilt, put upon yourself, because, truthfully, you're the one who's going to have that guilt, and it is you who's holding it in place there.
Yeah.
So, there is no such thing as letting it go.
Yeah, guilt or blame.
Forgiveness.
Guilt or blame or shame, those three. It's either, I feel guilty, or I'm blaming, and I feel ashamed. And yeah, we humans, we sometimes, we don't treat each other that nice.
No.
And there is, and that's why the fourth principle in the human constitution is about power, and that is to take your rightful space and your rightful place. And sometimes it's to have boundaries and say, okay, you did that to me, and to say to yourself, I forgive you, but now, you cannot hurt me, and to have boundaries and say, okay, so I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. I'm done. And to have that boundary, and you have the right. You have the right to your power, and you have also responsibility in to respect others' powers and others' boundaries. Oh, Zak, it was so much fun. The other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about dignity. And he was like, Maria, you're always talking about dignity. What is dignity, anyways? What is that for you? And I said, it's like, Zak, it's as if you are having the crown on your head, because you are the king in your life, and to treat everyone else as royalties. So I am the queen in my life, but not to see, the power abuse, but rather, with dignity and with mutual respect, to be in your power, to be in a graceful mutual respect. That's
as it's as you are being a diplomat and meeting another person who's the king of their country, their life. So that's how you got to treat it. You mentioned your grandma, Maria, and I really want to talk about this real quick. Born in 1919?
She was born in 1913.
1913.
Yeah.
He grew up and started to become an adult when there was not a lot of care about other people's dignity. Was that where a lot of your thought about this was born, because of what she saw? Because you guys are a lot closer to where all of that happened than we are. So your grandmother was probably right, saw a lot of things that us in America could have never imagined seeing.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what you're referring to. In Sweden?
World War II is what I'm talking about.
Oh,
She grew up during World War II. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 1913 in Sweden was very, very poor at that time. Actually, at the end of the 1800s, we had almost half the population immigrating to US. So I think we were, at that time, I think we were 4 million and people, and I think about 2 million people immigrated to America at that time. It was starvation and also no freedom of religion. So some people immigrated because of religion, and some people immigrated because of hope to America. And so my grandmother, she grew up under, it was hard circumstances. She told me about how she was carrying water from outside and in Sweden it's cold in the winters. It's freezing every winter. Now it's more mild, but so that was also during the First World War.
Right,
And
that was
so,
World War One. Yeah.
yeah, so when she had her son, my father, that he was born 1942, so that was in the middle of the war.
Mm-hmm.
And Sweden have been in peace for 200 years. So we haven't had war. But I remember she told me that they had the bags standing in the entrance, packed every single day, ready to go. So hard times, but since Sweden sort of survived during the war, and we have steel and forest industry, we did very, very good in the after the war. A lot of profit for us as a society, and the booming of the steel industry and rebuilding.
Being part of all the reconstruction that had to be done in Europe and in Germany, probably even up into Russia, I would imagine, or not up into for you guys, like straight over for you guys, but yeah. So, but she did grow up in a time where, I mean, let's just be honest, it's one of the worst shows of lack of caring about someone's humanity. And I mean, the way that what happened to the Jewish people was just, it was traumatic. And I mean, it's still traumatic today when you think about how many people died just because of a culture, because of because of who you are, who you're born into. And I think that, I mean, it's scary that still goes on today.
Yeah. Yes. And also, and that specific era is a very, very dark chapter in our human history. And, very unfortunately, or I don't know, I don't really know the word. Sorry, I'm Swedish.
You had it right. Very unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really think, the word unfortunate is really carrying the weight of what I want to say, because we have had this behavior as a species for many, many times. I mean, they've had mass extinctions in China, which is, twice as much of the people who died during the Second World War. And also the wars that, like the horrible in Africa, when people were
genocides there, yeah.
And the genocides.
So the Middle East.
Yeah. Or, if we go even further back, the Aztecs, and how European have been plundering the world, really. So we have we have so much to do, and to acknowledge,
Yeah.
with dignity, saying like, yeah, this happened, and um, just to acknowledge what happened, and trying to make things right, whatever we can do today, to try to do that with dignity. So we're talking about dignity on all the levels, dignity with your and with the rights and responsibility for your body, and dignity in our relationships, and but also as a community and as a species. Um, so
So, Maria, we're now into December.
yeah,
So we're now into the beginning of, or the end of this year. We're getting rid of the year 2025, and then we're heading into a new beginning.
era. Let's
Yeah,
say
we're
a
heading
new
into a
era.
new era. We're heading
Yeah.
into a new beginning.
Hmm.
What is the one? Why don't you give us like just a lesson on the human, on the first level of the human constitution? Why don't you just give us an explanation of what the first level is, and then next time we record, we'll go on the second level, and we'll just keep building up on the human constitution. But why don't you explain the first
Okay.
constitution, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So the first principle is that you are born with rights. The child that I talked about, who was only 1 day old. We are born, from the day that we are born with rights, and that we all need to mature with our responsibility. And the first principle is about the body, that you have the right to your body and you have a responsibility for your body. And what is that responsibility? Well, it I would say it could be just the basics, that you have the right to sleep and food and exercise, and also with touch, that and but also with responsibilities of saying, this is what I want, this is what I need, and to care for this transportation vehicle that we all have, and the experience that we have in this life. So that's the first principle.
I would also add to that you have the right to be comfortable in your own body.
Mm.
We, you know, I'm a bigger guy. I don't hide it from anybody, and I have fun with it.
Yeah.
There's nobody who could fat shame me if they tried, because I enjoy being a larger human being. It's
Okay,
part of
cool.
me. It's
Yeah.
part of who I am. I
Yeah.
enjoy that. And
Yeah.
I think that we should be able to live in the body that we are comfortable in. And damn anybody who thinks that they need to change us. We
Yeah.
don't all need to be, the super model style. We don't have to be that.
No.
Be in your body, be happy with who you are. If
Mm.
you're not happy, that's when you can make a change. But make that change for you, not because someone else is pressuring you into doing it. If you're with somebody who's pressuring you into doing something to your body, you need to get out of that relationship, because they're telling you that you're not good enough for them. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Good one, Zach. And I agree. But it's from my perspective, and this is the fun or the interesting thing with the human constitution. So the human constitution is simply stating you have rights and you have responsibilities, and then it's what everything within that is your contract to yourself, with yourself, and to humanity. So how you want to interpret your rights and your responsibility for your body, but it's also with, again, dignity and respect for others' bodies, and trying to mature with dignity, and to, like you said, to feel comfortable in our own skin, and enjoy. Isn't that one of the purposes of life, isn't it? Yeah. So, but it's also, to mature for me is also to strive with health, and not to say, I don't care about any of you. I can eat as much as I want, and then it's becoming unhealthy, for your heart and your, or I can drink as much as you want, and you go into, destructive, and so it's always a balance, but that's the journey. That's the journey of life. And what is mature for you? What is mature for your body? I don't know. And
that's right.
And the point of, not blaming, not shaming, but being more compassionate.
Yeah. Well, I love this. The human contract here on the pACT channel. I appreciate it. You can support Maria and Stefan and everything that they're doing by scanning the QR code that you see on your screen right now. Support that, shop with any of our partners, and you can become a support for Maria to continue to fight things like trafficking and hunger and lack of dignity, and try to teach, try to give lessons, and try to give hope to the hopeless. So, there's a lot that you can do by simply scanning the QR code that you see on the screen, going to their website, sign your human contract, and become part of the mission. And then shop for things that you need and support them by just attaching the receipt to it. So, Maria, we've got our first one in the books. I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be a great journey.
Yes, and exciting. Thank you, Zach.
So, all right, we will see you again next week.
Yes.
Hi, friends. I'm Barry, and this is my amazing support gang, Zayden, Avery, and Bert. We're here to invite you to something truly magical, the miracle of the season.
This year, we're asking you to collect new books and board games. Yes, they must be new. And deliver them to the 2025 Chili Cook-Off, Community Pay It Forward, or your local children's ward at the hospital closest to you.
These gifts will bring comfort, imagination, and joy to children who need it most.
We also want you to read your favorite story, just like you would to your own kids, and record it for us to share on air.
Help us by purchasing these books and board games.
Open the cover and sign it with your family name, leaving the 2 blank for a nurse to fill in.
Let's celebrate the beauty of every tradition, every story, and every act of love.
Tell us about your favorite holiday memories. What did you celebrate? What moments with family and community do you cherish most?
Your voice could bring a beloved tale to someone who's never heard it before.
Businesses, we need you too. Sponsorships help us reach more families and make this season truly miraculous. Join us in showing your love for the community. Join us
for the miracle of the season.
Visit communitypayitforward.us to learn more, get involved, and share your story.